Welcome back, traders. Continuing the 2024 backtesting series. No announcement today, just going to jump straight into chart. You can support me by giving this video a like and subscribing. So we're taking a look here at the daily chart. It is August 16th. Going to be backtesting August 19th through the 23rd. And just taking a look at the daily chart, you can see that we are going quite a bit away from the sell side. I feel like we are going to be going up higher. Now, this fair value gap here, that's going to be the weekly target. If you go up to the weekly chart, you can see we have a weekly fair value gap. We could be retracing all the way back up there. And I want to keep my eye on this fair value gap. If we go above this fair value gap, we can use it as inversion and go for another all-time high. Now, jumping down to the daily chart, you can see we have this high here and this daily fair value gap. So everything pretty much aligns. I think price is going to draw up to there, especially since we went above this daily fair value gap. When we went through this order block, I believe this was a 4-hour fair value gap. None of those stopped prices from going up. So it looks very, very bullish. But technically, we do have relative equal highs at the moment. So we could find a little bit of retracement down lower, and then we can go for this buy side. Okay, so cleaning up the charts a little bit, this daily fair value gap is what I'm looking for price to come out to retrace into. And then I'm looking for this buy side, and I want to see a rally up into this weekly fair value gap. Here is the 1-hour chart on Monday, August 19th, 8 o'clock in the morning. And you can see this is the buy side I was talking about earlier. We extended all the way here. You can see price is consolidating on Friday just below this fair value gap, or just below this buy side liquidity pool. Now, I don't really want to see this get taken first. I would much rather us drop down into this daily fair value gap. There's also a 1-hour fair value gap right here. So I want to see a poke into here, not go much lower, and then start a reversal for this buy side. And of course, we do have that weekly CIVI as the target for the week. All right, so pre-market didn't do too much. We're kind of slowly consolidating. Now, right before 9:30, we're starting to get a drop lower. Now, it doesn't have to, if I go back up to the 15-minute, it doesn't actually have to go all the way down into this fair value gap. It could go down below this swing low, or it could go into an inefficiency here. I do see a 15-minute fair value gap that it is kind of going into right now. But I'm just going to go ahead and just see how far we can go, looking for a reversal pattern. Now, if we go down into the liquidity pool, I'll be eager to take maybe the first fair value gap. But if we're just going into one of these inefficiencies, then maybe I may wait for a confirmation fair value gap. Not exactly sure. I want to kind of see how 9:30 looks. I've been doing this lately where I'm kind of waiting for the first 30 minutes of the price action after market open and trying to take trades after 10 o'clock. It seemed to be kind of working. I'm going to give it a little bit more time, try to be a little bit more patient. But let's go ahead and see what the opening bell looks like. All right, so after 9:30, we get this drop down, took out this sell side, and didn't quite take this out. Kind of created relative equal lows. So I'm not particularly liking this. I'd much rather just see it get swept. But so I don't see a bullish fair value gap either. We're coming into this 5-minute CIVI. We'll see if we get a market structure shift above this high. If that's the case, I will consider taking it, but I don't really prefer. I don't really like these relative equal lows. I prefer we have a sweep of the sell side instead. All right, so it is 10:30. Got a little bit of choppiness here, so I was not really eager to go into any trades with this choppiness here. We did get a big drop down below these relative equal lows and didn't quite take out this low, but I think that's fine. We took out the relative equal lows at least. So now we are starting to rally up, and it looks like we are going above this up candle. I think this is okay for a good reversal pattern for the buy side there. So I could go ahead and try to take the first fair value gap if we get enough of a reward to risk. Currently looking at it though, it looks like the risk is going to be way too much, but we'll see. If the risk is too much, I will wait for a confirmation fair value gap. All right, guys, so we did create this fair value gap here. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that this fair value gap is aligned with this sell side, the CIVI. So that creates kind of a balanced price range. We did go back into it, and now we have created a second fair value gap and potentially another fair value gap here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to take a long position on this fair value gap here. I'm doing this higher one because it's the larger one, the more significant one. And then I'm going to have my risk. If I have it down here, it'll be 46 points of risk. If I tighten it a little bit at the order block here, it's only going to be about 36 points. So I'm going to go ahead and be a little bit riskier, have a tighter stop here. If you want to be more conservative, have it at the low. And I'm going to go ahead and mark this out. This could be a potential first partial, which will give me a little bit better than 1-1. If I hold to the buy side target, looks like it's going to be better than 2-1. So that's what I'm hoping for. Let's see if I get tagged in. Hopefully I have enough risk here for 2 contracts. I think I will, but let's check the spreadsheet. Okay, and looking at the spreadsheet here, if I go for 2 contracts, it is going to put me a little bit over 1% risk. Sure, okay, fine. Let's go ahead and try to take it. We've had a bunch of wins already. I don't mind the extra 0.06% risk. And let's see if we can get tapped in, and I'll look for a partial above this one for the first partial, and then second partial up here. Although, let me zoom out to the 1 hour real quick, or let's go to the 4 hour. Get a bigger picture here. I do want the price to come up to this weekly SIBI. Can I do it today? I don't know. It's a Monday. I think maybe we have some time to retrace back into here. So we'll just go with my initial plan. First partial at this short-term high, and then the second partial, which will be my last contract, off at the buy side liquidity. All right, so it did rally a little bit before coming back down and tag me in. So 2 contracts in. Now, I was thinking if it take out this buy side, I'll just cancel the trade, but I'm 2 contracts in now. Hopefully we will take our first partial off fairly quickly, and then we can go for the second partial at the buy side liquidity up here. Now, I don't really like seeing how price is kind of, around this small little SIBI. We could come down one more time, but I don't really want to see this whole entire gap get filled. We'll just see what price looks like here. All right, so it is actually, I just noticed it is past my time window. It is 12:30. And we had this big drop. Like I said, we could sweep the swing low one more time, but I do like how immediately right after, it's only wicks. The bodies are pretty much staying above this fair value gap. And if you take a closer look, let me see if we can get a closer look here. We do have this fair value gap, and let me go ahead and just highlight it for you guys. All right, so we have this fair value gap, and you can see we closed above it, and now the bodies are starting to stay above it, although this candle is not done forming exactly yet. It's still got about 40 seconds left, but we are staying above this fair value gap. So it's looking promising that we're going to go for the buy side. Now, what I could do is I could tighten up my stop because we are past my time window. I could tighten it up to break even. That way, no pain, no foul, or whatever the phrase is, if we go ahead and get stopped out. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just move it right here. Right above my entry, so I will at least be break even now, and I'm choosing this wick right here because this was the last big candle, so keeping it at the low, it's above my entry, and let's just give this some time. If we go into the afternoon, that's fine. I'm not going to really try to manage this trade too much. Same plan as before, first partial and then second partial, and if I get stopped out, then oh well, we'll have the rest of the week to look for opportunities. Alrighty then, it is almost 1 o'clock, and you can see that we did go through this short-term high, so we went ahead and took a first partial. Now I could move my stop up a little bit more because we can see that this fair value gap is being respected, so I'm going to go ahead and move this up, I guess, to this low, or you can put it at the order block here. Be a little greedy and put it at the order block. Whoops, I didn't mean to duplicate. I mean to just remove it because I don't really see it being too relevant. And now I'm just looking for the second partial at the buy side liquidity, and let's go ahead and put the price there. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep holding it. Hopefully we get a stab through it, maybe at 130. Okay, so it took a while, about 2 o'clock before we hit this buy side target. Now, this trade, I've held it longer than I normally would. It's like one of those things where, okay, I set my stop to break even, and then pretty much just going to close the chart and have my, TP set, and pretty much just walking away from the chart. If it works, it works. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. It's one of those types of trade because I normally don't really want to hang around in the afternoon. Anyways, nice trade. Let's take a look at the price action at the end of the day, and then we'll move on to Tuesday. So here's what price looks like at the end of the day. After taking out the buy side, we pretty much just kept rallying, never came down below the buy side anymore. And then something happened here, probably just the end of the day, power hour or something. We did have a pretty big rally and consolidated up on the day. So let's go ahead and move on to the next day. But here's this trade. The first partial was taken a little bit better than 1-1, 1.4. And then the second one was 2.2R. So pretty good trade with an average of 1.8 on the day. Pretty good start to the week. And let's go ahead and move on to Tuesday. All right, so Tuesday morning, this is the 1 hour chart. And like I said, I was wanting to look at this weekly SIBI as the weekly target. We're kind of getting close to it. I'm going to go ahead and mark out the buy side right here. Sell side, I'm going to keep it here. So pretty tight range. Now, I did say that we could be coming down for this daily BISI. That's still a possibility. So just want to be a little bit careful about what's going on. I want to see a sweep of the sell side, but then I want to see rejection, right? I want to see price starting to go up, and buy side would be nice to hit. If we go through the buy side, I want to see a quick rally up into that weekly SIBI. All right, so 9 o'clock, we do get tapped into on the sell side here. Pre-market, so far consolidation. We'll see what happens up until 9:30 opening bell. All right, so just before 9:30, I'm zooming out to the 15-minute just to show you guys that we do have this 15-minute fair value gap here. Now, this 15-minute fair value gap, I want to see this whole price up. So I want to see price starting to bounce up and away from this 15-minute fair value gap. I don't want to see price trade through it. Looking down lower, there's not really any other like really big fair value gaps. So I think this could be it. And then we make a run for that weekly sell side or SIBI. All right, so far so good. At the 9:30 opening bell, we get a big rally away from this 15-minute BISI. So I think that is good, a good signal for me to go long for the buy side. Now, do I want to risk this here? We could be making a fair value gap. So if we do, let's say I have my entry here, and we'll just have to stop at the low. Quite a bit. No, not really. There's only 36 points of range here. So removing this. So I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here. I'm going to go full risk, 1%, because the risk is not huge. And then also, I have a really good feeling. I think this 15-minute fair value gap should be it. We had a pretty big one yesterday. And I'm thinking to take my first partial here of the high, and we'll see if we can hold up for the SIBI. It's quite a ways away, but we'll see how many contracts I can get in and how many partials I can take. Okay, so looking at the spreadsheet here, just like yesterday, it's going to be a 1.06% risk, a little bit more than 1%, but that should be fine. So only going to be able to take 2 contracts here. And we'll see if we get tapped in. And I'm looking for the first partial above this high. And the second one, I'll see how I can, how far I can hold it. I want to hold it up to for the weekly SIBI, but we may not get there. But I'm going to try and trail my stop up. And if I get stopped out, at least I'll get stopped out in profit, hopefully above this first partial. All right, next 5-minute candle, you can see we did get tapped in here just a little bit, but we did get tapped in. And now we are running away from it. This is actually a really good sign. I think if we take out, let's say this high right here, okay, I'm not going to mark it on the chart, but if we take out this high, I'm going to go ahead and move my stop loss to break even and go right below this down candle. All right, price is moving really quickly away from my entry. So really, really good sign here. We have this fair value gap and a small little volume imbalance. I'm going to take a little bit more. So I'm going to put my stop right here. and I think it's going to hit that first partial. So we'll take a first partial off and then we'll reconsider the stop loss afterwards. Wow, I did not expect price to come all the way down here. I was, man, seeing how strong it was at the open. I thought it was going to just take out this relative equal high. You know, if you zoom out, we do have this is the relative equal high here. Unfortunately, it didn't, and we came down and it stopped me out right here. Maybe I could have taken the first partial here, you know, to be safer, but I was really thinking it was going to take this one up there. Anyways, at least I got stopped out in profit just a little bit. Gave up all this move, unfortunately, but it is how it is. Now, since this big move down, if it goes down below this low and reverse this entire up move, I think we can go down lower. Looking at the hourly, we go down here. I'm not really seeing anything here. Maybe we're going for a little bit more inefficiency. If we go through all that, we do have relative equal lows here. Just going to quickly mark it out. This could be a sell side target. Don't know if I actually want to take any more trades today. Remember, I am biased, bullish bias on the higher time frame. So yeah, I want to be trading in the long direction, not with shorts. So here's the result, guys. Stopped out in profit with a 0.35R. Not too bad, but yeah, could have been better. But at least we didn't have to go through any drawdown and pretty much moved right away. All right, guys, so this is what the morning action looks like. Price went down below this fair value gap, created this fair value gap here. So there was a potential for you to short this. Like I said, I don't want to do any shorts. I only want to trade long. If you shorted this, yeah, maybe you can get a small little profit, but more than likely you're going to get stopped out or you're going to be in drawdown and you're not really going to be happy with this because we did go up at lunchtime above this fair value gap, and now it kind of looks like we may be using it as a reclaimed fair value gap. Now we may be going for this buy side. Now it's a triple top, could be going for it in the afternoon, but my time window is done. We'll take a look at what the end of the day looks like, but nothing more for me today. So here we go. At the end of the day, not much happened. We pretty much just consolidated around this fair value gap. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to Wednesday. All right, so Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock, and you can see that we're still in a tight consolidation here. Buy side is up here. This was from yesterday. And then the sell side, we do have relative equal lows here and down here. Although this, I don't really want to see price come down here. Yesterday, we dipped down into this 1 hour fair value gap. And I actually don't even want to see this get taken out. I just want to note that we have sell side here. And I'm going to go ahead and go down into a lower time frame. If I go down to the 1 day, 5 minute, we do also see relative equal lows here as well. So I think this is actually more appropriate to mark out. We could get a sweep of here, but I don't really want to see price go down below these lows. I'll keep it here. I'm going to give it a different color, just kind of keep track of everything. I'm going to give this, let's say, an orange color, right? I don't want to see price go below the orange sell side. And then we do have minor buy side above here as well. Just going to quickly mark that out and let's go ahead and walk through today's price action. All right, just before 9:30, not much has been going on. Pretty much consolidation. We did get close to the minor buy side, but pretty much consolidation. So I'm not really going into the day with like an extreme bullish bias, although I am still bullish. I just kind of want to be a little bit more careful and see what price action looks like at the opening bell. I want to maybe give it like 30 minutes. So wait until that 10 o'clock time to see exactly what is going on. All right, so 9:45, 9:50. We did go down for this really small short-term sell side, and then we started going up and we did sweep this minor buy side. So we'll go ahead and mark it out. But you can see the action here is very choppy. No inefficiencies, no fair value gaps. It's pretty much up and down. A lot of wicks overlap with the candles. So definitely going to give it some more time. All right, so almost 10:10, and we finally got a fair value gap here. So after sweeping this low here, we do have a fair value gap. I'm going to go ahead and try to take this entry, looking for this buy side. Remember that buy side is going to be the relative equal highs that I was looking for yesterday, those highs. So definitely want to take that out, and then maybe we can hold for a run up to the weekly CIBI. But let's go ahead and just mark out the entry here, and the stop will have it at this low, potentially at the bottom of this candle. But let's go ahead and calculate here. 45 to 80 is going to be about 35 points of risk. So yeah, I think I can go ahead and take 2 contracts here. We're going to go ahead and shoot for it. If the buy side is taken before it comes and takes me in, then oh well, the trade is going to get canceled. All right, so I did get into the trade. Unfortunately, we did get stopped out pretty much right away. Didn't work out. So just going to give this a little bit more time. Hopefully we create like a short fair value gap, or maybe we come down for the sell side first, and then hopefully we have enough time for price to rally back up for this buy side. All right, close to 1040, we went ahead and took out the buy side, but I didn't really see much of an entry here. We just took that 1 loss, 2 contract, 1% risk, and we got stopped out pretty much right away, unfortunately. So now that this buy side has gotten taken, I'm not exactly sure what is going on. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. If we create a fair value gap, I don't really want to take the very first one. I want to see a confirmation fair value gap. So we'll take the second one, but we could be coming down for the sell side now. All right, so it is close to 11 o'clock, and with this big drop down below this fair value gap, below all this up movement, there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to go for the sell side now. We do have relatively good lows here, and if we go down even more, now I think this orange line can be taken, so we'll change it back to white. So if you want to go short, you can go short. First partial here, second partial there. If we do have an opportunity, I'll go ahead and take it with only 0.5% risk, but this is going to be way too wide. Going to have to wait for a confirmation gap or a confirmation fair value gap to the downside. All right, so it is 12:15. There was not really any opportunities here, right? We did come back into this fair value gap. If you try to take it here, maybe you can play off a breaker with your risk above this high. But I was looking for a fair value gap, a confirmation fair value gap. Never got it, but we did come down for the sell side down here. Didn't go to the second one, but I think in the PM session, we could definitely go down there. So let's just take a look at what the PM session looks like. And then I guess we're going to move on to Thursday with a loss for today. So didn't go down to the second sell side, just rallied back up. And now we're back up above this fair value gap. You can see we came down and tapped it right away, created a fair value gap, and now we're just kind of consolidating here. So I think going into Thursday, that weekly SIBI target is in view. All right, so Thursday morning, looking at the hourly chart, I see this high that was created on Wednesday. It already got traded through. So the buy side has already been traded. So I'm not exactly too thrilled about this. We do have the sell side down here once again, and down below we do have these relatively equal lows. So we could be coming down for the sell side. The weekly fair value gap right here is so close. I feel like we're going to tap into it, but I don't know. I don't really like how we took out the buy side already. I want to see some kind of sweep on the sell side. Let's go down to the 15-minute. There is a short-term sell side right here. Could we sweep that? I guess, but if we go down there, it's kind of creating a shift in the market structure. I don't really like that for a bullish bias. So I think today we're just going to do a little bit more waiting in the morning, and then we'll see what the opening bell looks like. Maybe around 10 o'clock, there'll be an opportunity to get in long. All right, so pre-market, so far what I'm looking at is some choppy action here. At 8:30, we have this wick, this indecisive candle, and then a lot of choppiness here. And right before 9:30, is there a fair value gap here? It looks like we have a very, very small fair value gap, nothing really significant. But fair value gap nonetheless. 9:30, what can we expect? Well, we could expect an explosive move up for that weekly fair value gap, or we come down for this sweep right here. I think this is reasonable. If we sweep this and then start reversing, I would likely want to take a long after that. All right, just before 10:30, we are pretty much dropping now. We went down below this low, but we created a fair value gap as well. I think we're going to go for the sell side down here as well. I'm not really interested in taking any shorts at the moment. just want to give it a little bit more time. After this sell side gets taken, are we going to have a reversal? That's exactly what I want to see, but I won't take the very first one. I want to wait for a confirmation fair value gap. All right, so 1140, I don't think there's going to be any opportunities for me today. After taking out the sell side, we did chop around a little bit, but we're continuously going lower for this sell side. Remember, if we go back up to the 1 hour, this was the sell side from the previous days on Tuesday here, these relative equal lows. So it looks like we are going to be taking it. Are we going to go down for these relative equal lows, or are we going to start bouncing? Like we'll sweep this and then start bouncing upward. Either way, I don't have enough time left for any trades today. So just going to see what the rest of the morning action is going to look like. And then we'll jump into the end of day. So after sweeping it, we did go back up, and now we're kind of consolidating a little bit within this fair value gap on the 1 hour. If we go above it and then we show some bouncing, then we could be looking for new highs, but I don't really expect it for today. Instead, we did get dropped down the afternoon session, and we're getting very, very close to that old sell side liquidity pool right here, these relative equal lows. So I think going into Friday, if we just take a look at what happened during the week, Monday, we opened somewhere here, went up, got close to the weekly SIBI. So that may be setting up for a buy side liquidity pool for a future run. But then we had this big drop down below Tuesday's low and Wednesday's low, and even Monday's open, right? We're getting close to Monday's low. So I think going for the downside target, maybe what's in the cards on Friday. We go down, I think it'd be reasonable to go into this fair value gap. And that's pretty much it. I'm not looking for much lower. All right, so Friday morning here. Now, this old fair value gap, I still have it highlighted. I'm going to go ahead and change the color here. I want to give it like a teal color or a aqua color. The reason is because you can see that when we came down here, we used it as support. And then when we traded through it, we're potentially using it as resistance. So this could be an inversion fair value gap. So keeping that in mind. And also above it, I don't really see another fair value gap that's nearby. We do have this one, but it's kind of high. I kind of feel like maybe we're going to be using this as an inversion fair value gap, aiming for these relative equal lows and going down for this BISI. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Even though I am higher time frame bullish, I think we can end this week on a down note. So I'm going to be looking for some shorts today. And let's just jump into the 15-minute. Maybe I can mark out any kind of short-term sell side. Not exactly. We do have relative equal lows here, so I will mark that out. But ultimately, I am looking for the sell side below this low here. Okay, so pre-market, we started kind of rallying. Now, looking at the 9:30 open, what is going to happen? Are we going to get a dramatic move down? Because I'm not really seeing anything, but here we do have a pretty move down, but this could just be a stop hunt below these lows. But yeah, gonna have to see what 9:30 does, and then maybe at 10 o'clock we may have an opportunity then. All right, so 10 o'clock, we did come down to these lows right here. It does look like a stop hunt on the sell side, and now we have this big energetic movement to the upside. So I feel like we're gonna be going to the upside. I didn't really have any targets in mind. Oh, we did go into this SIBI here. So let me just go ahead and mark that out real quick. Okay, so we have the SIBI. Now, in order for me to be bullish, I want to see price go above the SIBI and use it as inversion. If that happens, then maybe we can go for this high and go for that weekly target, that weekly SIBI, like I wanted it in the first place. But if it can't get above this SIBI, then my bearish ideas are still going to come into play, and I'll be looking for price to come down below these relative equal lows. So right now it's kind of 50-50, trying to keep a neutral mind or neutral bias, and just going to have to see how the next maybe 30 minutes to an hour looks like. Okay, so you can see that is pretty wild here. I want to see how price behaved around this fair value gap, right? We kind of just chopped around a little bit on it, and now we have a big drop down lower. It did take out these relative equal lows. Going to a 15-minute chart. Come on. You can see that after taking out the buy side above this high, went into this 1 hour fair value gap. maybe aligning with this dip low. Looks like we may be going down for these relative equal lows. We did take out the sell side below these equal lows. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and try for a short if I have a good risk to reward. We'll see if we get that. Here we have a fair value gap here, but let's see if I have my risk up here around 828, and the entry should have been at 697. Way too much range here. So gonna have to wait for a confirmation fair value gap. Maybe we're gonna be reusing this fair value gap as inversion. If we get another SIBI, I'll go ahead and take the very next one. All right, so 12:15, I'm pretty much done with my time window here. Being a Friday, I wasn't actually too eager in getting in. We did have this rally back up here. There was no SIBI, no reversal. Even with this BISI here, I wasn't really excited to take this or anything, so I didn't really pause it for you guys. Friday, I was thinking maybe just consolidate with it, this inefficiency. You already took the buy side, already took some sell side. Maybe it's just going to consolidate and close within the range. Let's take a quick gander at what the end of the day action looks like. Maybe in the afternoon there was something, but for me, I am done. And like I said, after taking out the sell side one more time, we pretty much went back up and closed at equilibrium. So nothing too much to do here on a Friday. And that's one of the things you got to observe when you're back testing. Know which days are the good days. And for me, I've seen that Friday, more likely we are closing in at equilibrium and not really doing too much. Kind of the same goes for Monday, although Monday we do have some big moves sometimes. But Friday definitely is one of those days. So these are kind of the things you want to know in your back testing. So this week, pretty well. We took 3 trades, 2 winners. Well, this one kind of got stopped out, and then this one was a loss. So not too bad, not too great. Just an okay week. But anyways, thank you guys for joining me once again. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and until I see you next time, safe trading.